What's up, fish friends, and welcome back to Casual Reef Keeping. Before we get going, please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. So today we are in the Coral Dungeon, aka my old house basement, and we're going to take a look at some emergency power plans I have here. I just installed this backup battery system, and we're going to get into it a little bit now that I've done some testing. So this is my backup power plan. Well, one part of it. My backup power plan is twofold because, like many of you guys, I'm balling on a budget here and could not afford a whole home generator. They came in, quote, was like 10 grand minimum. Insane. So when we first bought the house, the first thing I did was I had this interlock installed on the panel. So as you can see here, portable generator inlet. That is, I gotta update it. So we've got this interlock here. In the event of a power outage, you would turn the main off, would allow this interlock here to slide out of the way, and you can turn the generator breaker on. This is the right way to do a portable generator install to backfeed a main panel. This is code compliant. This was done by a licensed electrician. You could do it yourself code compliant. I just want to make sure that's clear because a lot of people think you can't do stuff like this. You can't just plug it into an outlet and try to backfeed the panel. This interlock here forces you to open the main breaker so that you can't backfeed the utility and potentially harm a lineman trying to restore power. So this is the safe way to do a portable generator backup, and mine has a outlet on the side of the house. I guess it's an inlet really, where I plug the generator in. Now you hear the inverter fans ramping up because it's just charging the batteries. What I set up here is a secondary feed for the fish tank that is actually my primary now. I have a power feed from the main panel feeding this solar inverter charger. So the main power comes into this inverter, and you can see on the diagram, I'll try to upload a better picture. It is just going through this inverter system over to the sub panel here and feeding the fish tank. That's the only circuit on here. I didn't want to wire the fish tank directly into the inverter because it could potentially draw up to 40 amps. And that is only, the yellow is 12.2 Romex, which is rated for 20 amps. So you don't want to overload the wiring. So that wire, the yellow Romex you see on the right, is protected by this 20 amp breaker here. This is protected by the 40 amp breaker in the panel. The batteries are also protected by a 100 amp DC breaker. And so what this is doing is it charges the batteries, and you'll see when I show you my pull the plug test, when the main AC power going into the inverter is lost, it begins to discharge the batteries back to the tank circuit. After doing some testing, I was very happy with the results so far. I don't think this will last super long with my 1000 watts of heater on, but I should be able to get almost 8 hours without the heater on. So I'm very happy with how this is set up. I left some room to expand so I can make the shelf bigger, go down. I can add more batteries in parallel. So we've got two 100 amp hour batteries in series. So this is series because you've got your positive terminal here, the negative to the other positive, the negative here, because this inverter required 24 volts. So I got two 12 volt batteries and hooked them up in series. In series, their capacities don't combine, but the voltage does. So as you can see, I got my multimeter here from doing my testing. Put that, make sure it's in DC. $26.85, and the inverter reads 26.9, so we're pretty spot on here. And I'm not quite confident that's the full charge voltage. I may need to adjust the parameters in the inverter, but this is our emergency power setup now. So this will allow me to buy time, so if the power goes out, I'm not home when it happens. Now I have enough time to get home from whatever I'm doing, get the generator hooked up, or if God forbid we're away, have a friend come and do it, my brother. I've got a plan, because as much as, a whole home generator, standby generator, boom, comes on, over and done with. Great, crazy expensive though. So next I'm going to show you my little test, and I'll keep you guys updated as this goes. Alright, Fish Fam, here we are down at the inverter, and we're going to do our load test. So this is a 100 amp hour 24 volt bank, and we're going to do our first, I'm going to call this the pull the plug test here. So I don't know if you can see the screen here. Try to get it, there we go. Man, let me turn the light off, hold on. Just because I'm doing this once. The first pull the plug test. There we go, now you should be able to, if it'll adjust, come on, adjust, there we go. So I'm going to shut the breaker off, feeding the inverter, and we're going to see what happens. That looked seamless. It shows no AC, now it's in the alarm, good. And we're on battery. 120 volt output, good, good, good. Battery input voltage 26.1. I might have to change a setting and raise the voltage a little bit, but that looks really good. That's the inverters. That's solar. Looks like 32 amps out of the battery right now. Not bad, not bad. At 100 amp hours, the heater's probably on then. Cool, let's let it ride. So that was my emergency power backup system. It's important to have a plan. You don't need to have a whole home standby generator. Battery backup works, portable generators. Just have a plan, because if you're watching this, you've invested a lot of money into your fish tank. You've got corals that, have meaning to you, fish that are emotionally important to you. You got to protect them one way or another. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to click like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more fish updates.